Kevin Owens tonight. Seth then claimed you can't trust Kevin Owens and you need to go with the devil you know instead of the devil you don't know to Big E. Big E would then say that he doesn't care. He is just ready to destroy Seth Rollins when he gets the chance. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, AJ Styles, and Omos versus the Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro versus the Street Profits. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and AJ Styles, and Omos would pick up the win here in a okay match. What made it great after the match is Orton hitting an RKO on Dolph Ziggler after the match. That really got the crowd to explode. They really enjoyed that. I thought that was fun as well. After this, we got Adam Pearce saying he made a mistake on the Raw Men's Survivor Series team. And every other member of the Raw Survivor Series team is a former WWE champion except for Dominic Mysterio. And Dominic Mysterio will need to earn his space on the Survivor Series team if he faces this former WWE champion in Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley would beat Dominic in I would say a 10-minute match. It was a good match, but it definitely had its quirks. He would make Dominic tap out, and now we have Lashley on the Survivors team instead. By the way, also in this match, we got a return of MVP. MVP was back at Bobby Lashley's side, so the Hurt Business is in full effect with Bobby Lashley, MVP, Cedric Alexander, and Shelton Benjamin all back in the Hurt Business. I thought that was cool to see. It was a very underrated thing. MVP coming back is very exciting to me because he is one of my favorite superstars ever. I got no problem saying that. After this, we got WWE Champion versus Big E versus Chad Gable. And WWE Champion Big E would pick up the win, and he would actually set up a future feud with Otis. Otis would get in the ring and would stare down Big E, and I hope this leads to a WWE Championship feud. I would love to see that for Otis. Otis would be a great challenger for him. Otis, in my opinion, could be the next Yokozuna if they pitch it right. So I hope that he is given the time to become the next Yoko. My opinion only. After this, we got 24/7 champion Reggie versus Drake Maverick in a 24/7 championship match. Drake Maverick would pick up the win and become the new 24/7 champion. He would then roll out of the ring, celebrate, get away from all the 24/7 championship crowd. Akira Tozawa would then pin Drake Maverick, and as Akira Tozawa was celebrating, we got a shocking return. Corey Graves got up from the announce desk, rolled up Akira Tozawa, and pinned him. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Corey Graves wrestled. Corey Graves was actually wrestling. We got Corey Graves return to wrestling. Holy shit! I can't believe it. Corey Graves is back wrestling. But after he held the title for 2 seconds, and then Byron Saxton rolled up Corey Graves to win the title. That was hilarious. Hilarious to see Byron Saxton pin Corey Graves, and Corey Graves was so pissed, saying, "I had the perfect plan, Byron!" But after Byron pinned him, Drake Maverick then pinned Byron, and then Reggie pinned Drake Maverick to win back the 24/7 championship and then be chased by the crowd. After this, we got announced that it would be Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair at Survivor Series. It has been made official. I'm sure in time they're also going to make it United States Champion Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. They're just waiting to see who's champion at the time of Survivor Series. We then got a fatal 5-way match for the number one contender of the Raw Women's Championship with the Survivor Series team of Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Carmella, Queen Zelina, and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan would pick up the win in a very good 5-way match. She would then have a stare down with Becky Lynch, cementing herself as the number one contender. I was actually rooting for Queen Zelina in this match because I think it's too early for the Liv Morgan feud because I don't want her to just lose and then fall back to irrelevance. I want her to win it and actually have a good run with the Raw Women's Championship. But there is a lot to still happen for Liv Morgan's career. It's good that she's getting a push, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, a bit too early on that one. After this, we got announced that it will be Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus WWE Champion Big E at Survivor Series as well. And finally, in your main event of the night, Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens in a great match, and it actually ended in a good count-out. I was shocked by this. This count-out actually worked in great favor with Big E blocking Kevin Owens back to the ring. Before the match, Seth Rollins would announce that it was actually a plan between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens for Seth Rollins to punch Big E and cost Big E the match. It unfortunately didn't work out, and Seth Rollins said, "You have to trust the devil you know instead of the devil you don't know." Kevin Owens would vehemently deny this, but after he getting counted out because of Big E, Kevin Owens would attack Big E, turning heel. I love Kevin Owens as a heel way more than a face. In my opinion, I think he is a better heel promo guy. I think the look he has is way better heel than face. So I'm excited that Kevin Owens is once again a heel. And that was your Raw review for this week. I would rate Raw and SmackDown perfectly even. I think they both had great shows this week. Even after the releases probably left a sour taste in most reviewers' mouths. I really enjoyed WWE this week in the shows. The releases are cowardly at best. I'll get more of that in my Baldroy of the Week review. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go on to Survivor Series 2011, the 25th annual Survivor Series. It would take place on November 20th, 2011, 2 days before my birthday, by the way. And it would emulate from the most famous arena in the world, Madison Square Garden. With an attendance of 16,749, 281,000 in buy rates. The tagline, the most charismatic tag team of all time, never before, never again. And we'll get to that in the main event of this show. Survivor Series had a dark match between Santino Marella and Jinder Mahal in a 5-minute little match. Santino Marella would pick up the win over Jinder Mahal. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler with Vicky Guerrero versus John Morrison for the United States Championship match. It was a great United States Championship match. They would give them time. They would have a 10-minute match. These two have great in-ring chemistry. For a long time, whenever they've competed against each other, it has always led to a great match, in my opinion. Dolph Ziggler would pick up the win after a little chicanery on the outside from Vicky Guerrero, leading to her getting kicked out from ringside. Dolph Ziggler would then hit the zigzag and would pick up the win. Vicky Guerrero would run back out to celebrate, and Zack Ryder would actually come out to attack Dolph Ziggler. The chants for Zack Ryder were immense at this time. Zack Ryder was beloved by the WWE crowd, and they just wanted Zack Ryder for the whole show. This show could have been Zack Ryder having a 3-hour, 50-minute match versus Santino Marella, and it still would have gotten a 5-star rating from the crowd. That's how over Zack Ryder was at this time. After this, we got Divas champion Beth Phoenix versus Eve Torres in a lumberjill match, which lasted 4 minutes. I'm watching it now, and it feels good, but at the same time, a bit sloppy. Beth Phoenix is a great performer, but I've just never really gotten the Eve Torres performer. I think she's very sloppy, and Beth Phoenix would pick up the win after hitting a top rope glam slam. After this, we'd have Team Barrett versus Team Orton in the 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Team Barrett would consist of Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Hunico, Jack Swagger, and Wade Barrett versus Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Mason Ryan, Sheamus, and Sin Cara. it would be Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes would be the survivors and would beat Team Barrett would beat Team Orton, and that would be the only 5-on-5 Survivor Series match of the night, because the main event would be a tag team match. It was a 22-minute match, but it was a very good Survivor Series match. It was very simple and ran its course very easily throughout the 22 minutes. It played perfectly. After this, we got Big Show versus Mark Henry in a World Championship match. And this is one of my favorite feuds that I always loved. Big Show versus Mark Henry for the world title. It's a very underrated feud, but it was definitely some of Mark Henry's best work. It would be the Hall of Pain work. In my opinion, I think it's one of the best feuds Mark Henry has ever had. Mark Henry would lose by disqualification. He would retain the title. He would hit Big Show with a chair, and Big Show would then lead to a TLC match at TLC between Big Show and Mark Henry. After this, we got Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk. Alberto Del Rio, the WWE Champion, versus CM Punk. CM Punk would also bring out his own in-ring announcer. I love this. Howard Finkel. He would bring out Howard Finkel as his own in-ring announcer, his special in-ring announcer, to counter Alberto Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez. I apologize, read that wrong. And I love that he would defeat Alberto Del Rio in a great 17-minute match. I've never been really a fan of CM Punk. I feel he's a bit overrated. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. I've never been a fan of CM Punk. But he had a great match here. He would win the WWE Championship and then go on to have a amazing WWE Championship run. So I always love that. And then finally, in your main event of the evening, John Cena and The Rock versus The Awesome Truth. It would start off with The Rock saying, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Madison Square Garden." And this would lead to their feud. This would be one of the big catalysts for their feud at WrestleMania 28 in Miami, where The Rock would defeat John Cena. That would lead to WrestleMania 29, where The Rock and John Cena would have a match for a WWE Championship in the main event at WrestleMania 29. This was the only time ever, once in a lifetime, Rock and John Cena tag team, and it was an amazing tag team main event match. John Cena and The Rock would pick up the win in a 21-minute match against The Awesome Truth. After the match, The Rock would hit John Cena with a rock bottom to cement The Rock versus John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 28. What a great pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. Survivor Series 2011 is one of the most underrated Survivor Series in my opinion. I felt every match on the show was good. It made me smile. I enjoyed it. Except for maybe the Lumberjill match, I would definitely put the Survivor Series at a B+, if not A. Great show. And now we're reading from the Book of Rules. Money in the Bank, baby. The briefcase contains a guaranteed WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. It is suspended above the ring, and superstars must unhook the briefcase to be declared the winner. The contract for the championship match is good for 365 days before it expires. The holder of the briefcase can cash in for a world title opportunity any place, anytime. The bell must ring for a cash-in to be valid. A reading from the Book of Rules. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your WWE Drink of the Week. I'm going with a very simple drink. It is a liquor. I'm just reviewing this liquor right now because it's one of my favorite liquors that I've bought in the recent times. during